That was the right one.
That was the right one. I hope Culture Casino at some point sees this because we probably won't get many people watching us, but I put the right one on.
You'll get a few. What the hell was that?
That was it's coffee time. It's still morning.
Yeah, I had my
here on the East Coast of America. That's some good stuff. It's Pete's. Because Gary drinks Pete's. I do too. No, it's actually really good coffee. And I had to try it because Bear always talks about Pete's coffee. So I had to try it. Holy cow, there are people watching us. I didn't think anybody would show up.
Yeah, man. I do my coffee and bullshit streams this early, and people show up.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What up, Bone? Hello.
You're international.
I am international.
You're international audience show up too.
That's my brother right there. I'd be scared too, Adega. I'd be scared too. But I'm trying to do one of your one of your streams. You know? Adega, if you want to jump on, I'll send you the link. You know this shit. Jack D, what up? Runner Studio, what's up, guys? Thank you for showing up this early in the morning. Or is it? No, it's like 11:30. Actually,
that's still technically morning.
When the COVID's not going on and you work, what time do you get up?
Anywhere between 5 to 7, depending on how far away the store is I'm working on.
Yeah, I've worked through this whole thing. I'm kind of blessed that way. I get up at 10:03 a.m.
I like having to get up at like 5:30 because that means I'm driving over so many miles and I get a money for driving over so many miles. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. A Dig Outlaw is going to jump in with us. Can you send him the link? Do you mind sending it?
Yeah. Gotta find him. He's on Twitter, right?
Matthew Berkland. Early at 6:30 p.m. in Istanbul. Istanbul? No way.
There's my boy right there.
Dope, man. I gotta say, I've been stuck now on the dubbed. Until I stopped really watching Netflix. Dubbed Turkey original content from Netflix. There's one called The Protector. I thought it's like corny, but I can't stop watching it. Now that the season's over, I don't know what to do.
I watched the.
There's one about vampires.
There's one about vampires.
Yeah. I can't remember the Immortals. I think it's called, or Mortal. Something. I don't know. Sharon Kelly, I'm watching. You caught me online, and so I'm watching you instead of Jay Leno Garage. Well,
garbage.
I appreciate that. Oh, garbage. No, Garage.
What's this Garage?
No, because Jay Leno has like a show showing off all his cars usually.
Oh, my bad. Didn't know.
Yeah. Lewis Cox, I am from England. It's the afternoon here, 4:33.
Hail the international audience. Thank you guys.
I know.
That's why I like doing early shows, man.
More often.
Yeah.
I got to do this more often. I never get to get these guys on.
That's why I try and do the Coffee and BS streams on my channel so I can talk to those guys. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, I guess we're going to talk about alien disclosure in a couple minutes. We're going to just give people some time to roll in. What is your feelings on, the idea of aliens already being here, not even just ancient, just even right now or in the recent century? What is your feelings on that?
Legit? You want to know my legit
feeling? No, your legit feeling. Seriously.
Okay. I think that there's a lot of, all right, I'll try and condense this down. I think there's a lot of different megalithic structures that people always attribute to like alien technology, this or that, helped us to build the pyramids. For instance, to use a pop.
Right, I don't believe that shit.
I don't believe that. I think we don't credit human ingenuity enough for the past accomplishments of our species. And I'm also a person that believes there's a hidden prehistory that we don't know about, or that professionals in the industry or historians at this point do not want to recognize because they think it would delegitimize the achievements that humans have made in the last 5,000 years or so. What's up, Adega? How you doing, man?
Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are your feelings on?
Well,
we're going to be talking. Oh, go ahead. You're still going. Shut up, Scott.
Anyway, I was prefacing. You know me. I preface.
I know you talk. That means just verbal diarrhea. But keep going.
It does not. But as far as like aliens, okay, I'm tossed out either I believe it is honestly us from the future coming back and taking a look at humans of the past, or it is people from another world. Either way, I do believe that UFOs and are real. I can remember 10. I was like, no, almost maybe 15 years ago. I think it was 10 years ago when the oh God, when the Minister of Tourism from Mexico made a statement and said that they had found ancient landing pads in the jungle. The news didn't, mainstream didn't catch on to it. The UFO circuit did, but like there's little statements like that. Little statements like, when different European countries have come out and said,
well, what about the former defense minister? I don't know if you heard this, Dega of Canada said something.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. So what is you do believe? I believe. Look, I like how you said they could be us from millennia from now coming back, finally figuring out space and time, and being able to warp it and come back in time.
Australia has sent particles back in time.
Well, the God particle is proving some stuff. I mean, what they do with that collider is impressive. Like I don't even know, nanoseconds, they were able to do something like that. So that's just proof right there. But my question is this, I believe I wholeheartedly agree with you that we do not give enough credit and we do not know our history. We were kind of talking about it last night with Gary, a little channel called Nerdrotic, who does a show kind of like this. We don't know what happened pre the last ice age, pre the Younger Dryas. We could have easily had a very advanced cultures that were wiped out when the ice sheets melted very rapidly. That's why we have those the history of the flood.
It happened twice within 1,500 years.
The flooding didn't happen twice. The hot, cold happened twice.
We have micronovas and polar shifts about every 12 to 1,500 years. And when those happen, there's usually, at least from the records that I've seen, because I've been doing a lot of investigation in this lately, that there is a tremendous amount of our civilization that gets lost. I don't know if you guys want to see something just simply because I want to show it.
Is it a dick pic? Okay, good.
No. As you see this rock, and you see, no, it's a rock, and you see on this edge here, let me see if I could get my finger on it and do this in 3D. Right there. Can you see the ridges on that?
Yes.
This is a lava rock where humans had not spent any significant time for, let's see, it's been several thousand years. It's pre-Native American. And yet there are screw marks in this lava rock.
Right.
Holy cow.
And I found by chance out in the middle of nowhere in the Chocolate Mountains out in Arizona.
Wow. See, that's the thing, Adega. I feel like look, a lot of people believe the experts, which you should believe experts. This whole idea that experts don't know what they're talking about, that's a lie. But I do believe that when it comes to history, they do not want new information coming out because that will belittle their career. That's how they see it. Their reputation.
Or the reputations of those they built their careers upon.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's what it is. I mean, look at what happened to different, I'm forgetting the guy's name, who lived to he was 90. And when they asked him, because they finally justified his scientific idea, he said, I just wish the bastards lived this long, so I could shove it in their face pretty much, because they destroyed the man's career for believing in ancient cultures, Egyptian cultures, pre-Sumerian cultures, and we're starting to see that with technology all around the world. I think we need to dive into the oceans more because of the way we lost 400 feet worth of land mass around the world when the ice sheets melted so rapidly.
Right. And where do most civilizations, prosper? Well, when they can. On the shoreline. Yeah.
Exactly. And I do believe all our ancient myths, all our ancient stories may have fact that's involved with it. the ancient flood stories or a cataclysm no one could remember, you know? So they told this story over and over again. What up, Red Gaze?
What up? What up? How's it
I'm
going?
glad you showed up, man. We are talking. Yeah, tell him, Stephen.
We're talking about cataclysms and aliens and ancient civilizations.
Oh, shit. Son.
And probing with coffee.
A lot of anal probing.
I never went there. I never went.
Well,
I just finished my coffee, but none of it made it to my anus.
That's good.
The Netherverse show with Final Death Star has been talking about the flood in CERN lately. First of all, it's an awesome show.
Yeah.
If you guys are not watching his Sunday show, the Nether, please, guys, check it out. It's on tonight. I just don't know exactly what time, but make sure you guys subscribe to Final Death Star because he does this once a week. So does Adega and 14 Barber on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have an awesome stream that thank God you guys were on yesterday because I was in traffic leaving Washington, D.C. for like an hour and a half. I moved 2 miles and I listened to that show the whole time.
Well, I'm glad you like it. It was kind of not our normal show, but thanks.
No, but yeah, you guys usually have a great show. I'm not saying it sucked yesterday.
Scott will screw anything he can.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that news?
I mean, if Adega put the lava rock up there a little longer, it might have. How'd you
had a lava diamond.
So, what do you believe, Gaze? When it comes to like aliens or ancient civilizations, what's your philosophy or your ideas on that?
I don't get too super deep into it, but I have to believe like that. There's no way possible that we can be the only thing floating around, the living intelligent beings in this entire universe, because this universe is bigger than anyone even can imagine.
Yeah.
Right. We can't wrap our heads around it. And wouldn't that be pretty damn arrogant of us to think we're the only species in the universe?
Almost
or even in our own galaxy.
Almost as arrogant as thinking that one tribe of humans in one part of the world from one time in history are the chosen people of God. Yeah, kind of like that crazy.
Wow, we're not going there, Stephen. We're not going there.
Sorry, I was going to say. Mr. Right. Inflammatory in the upper right.
Yeah, God. I don't know. Go start a fire and stand in it, you witch. This is, and it's things like the Sphinx and I got to say it real slow. Göbekli Tepe. Things like that are starting to rewrite our history. But even with the Sphinx, I think you might know how to say his name. Asif, the one who got fired as the head of Egyptian history. Asif.
Oh yeah, there was that big fight between the religious guy and these not archaeologists, because I don't trust most archaeologists. If you get into geologists and actual what would you call it?
True science.
Well, not true science. I'm thinking of the people who actually find the history of rocks, sedimentation, environment. A set of people that say, well, look at this pit. They must have done human sacrifices here because there was bones. Well, it could have been anything. They just make up stories about what they find. I personally believe that with that firing of that guy, whether he had some right or some wrong, it was all about egos more than it was about science.
Well, he was the guy who would just, I don't know if you know who we're talking about, Stephen, but he's the guy he literally would destroy people's careers if they tried to go against what he believed. I mean, he was vicious, dude, and corrupt. And I guess that's why they didn't put him in jail when Egypt fell. But, he kind of got put to the side. He's still involved somewhat. But when Professor Robert Shaw, from Boston, he said that they've been saying that the Sphinx enclosure, that was sand that caused that. Millennia of sand hitting the Sphinx. But when you look at the Sphinx wall, the surrounding walls, it's water.
It was water.
Water erosion, right?
The geologists,
millennia, right?
Geologists have the absolute authority on that, and anyone else who disagrees with them, they shut down. But it's obviously water, and that thing was a Yardang, and it's far, far older than what they've been telling us.
Absolutely.
Right. And there's also a hole that they covered up on top of the Sphinx. that there's pictures of men going down, really old pictures, and they try to say there was never one there. Like, these cover-ups for no reason cause us to be considered conspiracy people, because it's like the evidence is right there. And when someone throws out, "Oh, you're a conspiracy freak," there's that stigma that goes along with it. So even like someone like Graham Hancock, who I think is a brilliant guy, is belittled because, oh, he's just a conspiracy freak.
You should never cover up a good hole.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I have many pictures of men going down and Hancock's. Is that a conspiracy?
Depending on which site.
Okay, gotcha. As long as it's pay for play.
Yeah, no, there was the 4 pedestals around there. There are tunnels that they buried that were under there. There wasn't just the hole on the top of the head, which they drilled that out thinking there was treasure in the head, but there's also the one just in front of the main where it was plugged up.
Right. And there was one on the side of them too that they show this. Oh, what is his freaking name? Ashi something, where they show him going under the Sphinx and he denied Awasi something.
Awasi,
they show him. Yeah, they show him going under the Sphinx and he's like, no, there's nothing there. Nope.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. And you go to some of the old pictures, you can see where they barred up the entrance and then they buried it.
Yep. Real quick, Who Knew is a new channel member. Who Knew became a YouTube member. I don't know what at level, but I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. It's the only way I'm going to get new technology is super chats, stickers, and people that become members. So thank you very much.
God, get this man a new computer.
It's got to happen. I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe, but I don't know. People say I should. I love this subject. I've been meaning to do a show, but I work a lot of weekend days, and I would love to do it on Sundays if I have the time. But it's something I find very interesting, how the arrogance of one man in Egypt, he curved, or what's the word I'm looking for? He molded the idea of the history of Egypt for the last, almost half a century.
I don't want to step into that. I think a lot of that has to do with religious reasons, to be honest. Because when you have people that have a fervent belief in their doctrine being the one true doctrine, and then you have science or evidence that comes along and says, hey, there have been things that have been around much longer than your doctrine, then that becomes heresy, honestly. That's what I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. With this guy, I would not go with it was religious. This is more ego than anything, man. It wasn't heresy religious wise. It's just if you proved him wrong, you would destroy his career, he believed. Like, that's just the guy he is. No, I understand a lot of other things, like if you even bring up the Knights Templar, people get really upset with the idea of what is the Holy Grail. But that's another show altogether. Jack D. Sorry, but Jack D is a new member too, man. Thank you so much. I watched Jack on membership streams with Nerdrotic. He's excellent. So check out his channel, guys. Jack D. Thank you, brother. What were you going to say?
Like, what is it? Not too long ago. Was it 2 years ago that they found a bunch of sarcophagus in Egypt, and then they didn't do any. They didn't bring any scientists in. They just were doing some construction, found a bunch of sarcophagi, and then just dumped all the shit, dumped everything in the fucking streets. Like, it was full of necroplasm and that kind of shit. The bodies were disintegrated and it was all liquid. But instead of testing it,
right.
instead of doing any kind of scientific work on it, just dump these things out into the street. Who knows what kind of disease could have been spread or whatnot.
Right.
I just think that there's a lot of arrogance involved, and it's a shame because Egypt is one of the ancient civilizations. It was one of the original melting pots of the ancient world. So many different civilizations came through and became a part of the fabric of Egypt. It's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite of the ancient nations. And the history of it is either hidden or treated with disregard for whatever reasons. And I just don't understand it. I think it's robbing the entire world of some very important history.
Well, that's the question. Is it universal cover-up, and why?
I don't think it's universal. I think it has to do with the
Oh,
state.
it's everywhere though. It's in almost every country. There's people who fight new evidence that
Well, you should always have
cultures
people.
were more advanced.
You should always have people that refute evidence. You should always have skeptics. But
Right, that's a scientific process, but there's a difference between skeptics and people trying to destroy a man or woman's career because they found something different or they go against the grain.
Yeah, well, a lot of that might just be ego as well. You know, a lot of people made their names on things, and if those things were disproven, they would kind of look like assholes. So,
yeah, but it's got to come a point, you know, in the name of science, in the name of discovery, that ego has to be put to the side.
right.
You know,
That used to be the point.
it's always been difficult. I mean, but and I think Gaze is right. I think ego has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It is ego. It's ego, but it's also like, I always wonder if it's and going back to what you were kind of saying with religion, Stephen, the church has so much ancient writings in their vaults that they do not allow. The Vatican. They don't share with the rest of the world, and I almost think like it's right. It's the control of knowledge that, and I just want to know why, though. You know, with the Vatican, I can understand it. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Well, if you go into like, and probably a lot of you know this, with the North America, Central American Indians, part of what happened here, because there have been artifacts. There's Nordic, there's Jewish, there's Egyptian artifacts. There are many, many giant mummies that have been found.
Right.
And most of this stuff was, you know, they send in the Smithsonian archaeological teams and they disappear. And early on, back in the turn of the 18th century into the early of that century, some of the powers that be, wasn't everybody, but the controlling powers that be at the time, due to elections and what have you, wanted property that didn't belong to the United States. And we had to make the natives look primitive. They hid their writings, they hid their culture, their massive cities, and said these were primitives and the land is better used by people who know what to do with it. And they started chasing people. So the truth of what these people had was deliberately buried to take advantage of what they had. And I imagine that theme is pretty contagious throughout the world, because if you look at China has some of the most people don't realize this, but China has some of the most numerous and some very large pyramids. Yes. That are very, very similar to what is in Egypt. And if people, or especially like the CCP, if that information got out, they would think we no longer have all the claims that we thought we historically had or were trying to teach to people to this territory, because other people would be there, civilizations that was greater than ours, and it would screw up our propaganda.
So you think nationalism has a lot to do with hiding this type of
in a lot of cases? Yeah, I think with Egypt, and you're a big fan of Egypt, I think most of what they have there, and there's evidence to this, is that it's a secondary civilization. All the hieroglyphs that we're finding is basically graffiti on a civilization that existed long before the Egyptians that they say are the ones that built those things.
Right. Agreed.
And you're absolutely right when you say that. I mean, there was definitely a more advanced culture. You have, you know, Asian looking statues in South America. You have Egyptian writing in Australia. I mean, there's clues everywhere that people traveled the world at some point.
Here's one of the wildest things, and I'll shut up for a little bit.
No, don't shut up. I love it.
I've been doing a lot of study, and if you look at my my Twitter record, you'll find some of these, because there's a whole group of people that are studying this, and I recently got into it. There's these things on these ancient buildings, Greece, Egypt, Angkor Wat. You go to Central America, they have these grooves and what they call nubs, these little outcroppings on these big stones. Some are small stones, some are big stones, building stones. And they set up certain patterns, and no one's really been paying much attention to this, but they are universal throughout the entire world. All the megalithic structures have them to some degree. They have them on the Great Pyramids. which in and of itself, especially like you were talking about, because there is a huge correlation between some of the Central American and the India structures that look almost identical, down to the little statues that they make. But all of these tied together show that there was one super society once upon a time, and we've lost it, and they've divided it up, saying, oh, they all different cultures, but I don't believe that.
Right. Well, and it's like, how knowledge that's passed down verbally becomes stories and fables, and it happens quickly. So we're talking now millennia where the Sanskrit writings were trying to explain something that these people might have been seeing, but they didn't know how to explain it. Or when we actually read it, we see it as a story and not as like a historical, like even the Bible. The Bible is it's written and read. I'm sorry, it's read like it's not. There isn't historical fact involved, but there is. It's just the way they told it. That was the way they explained it. Ancient chariots of fire in the sky, things like that happening. It could just be technology they didn't understand how to explain to future societies. Yeah. Look at Enoch. It's not in the Bible, but the Enoch stories are definitely alien encounters.
Well, there are ancient texts all around the world that have similar themes and similar stories that, I think come from an umbrella civilization, like Adega was saying. I do believe that. I absolutely believe it. There's just too much evidence sparsely all around the world that leads back to a common culture.
Well, let's put it this way. You have the pyramids, like Deviant Porg is saying here. The pyramids were they were built by Egyptian pharaoh, yet any Egyptian pharaoh that built anything of that was going to last made sure their name was all over it. There's nothing inside the pyramid. And the reason why we believe it's and Adega, you might remember the pharaoh's name. The reason why we put it to him is because of a archaeologist that may have actually faked a hieroglyphic saying it was his.
Yes,
they're starting to believe that it was real.
It was graffiti, just one little mark inside there. It doesn't match anything except for the, it's like you take someone who's very versed in writing in Times New Roman, and then someone goes in and puts it in script writing. It's obvious fake, but they use that to set up his narrative.
Mm-hmm.
The places in Peru that you got, oh God. What are the ones in Peru? There are two really close to each other. You have the one with
Picchu?
No, you have the one that's like these H size massive blocks that look like they were laser cut.
Yeah.
And then close to it, you have a walled in little area that has faces of people from all around the world, African looking, Asian looking, alien looking. And I'm blanking on the names of those places right now.
It was the ancient UN.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's by Lake Titicaca, and I'm trying to remember. It's not Teotihuacan. It was Toltecs, but I don't remember. I can't remember the name of them either.
I'm blanking on it right now. Somebody in the chat might write it up for us. We got a long one here, so I want to read it. You also have to remember, and this is K. John Boom. I love the picture. That's so awesome. You also have to remember that the Bible, as we know it today, isn't the original document. Exactly. It's been translated and revised many, many times. The most current version is the King James Version, which was edited to remove anything that offended the crown. So you have to go far, far back to get the total text of the Bible. And that's why the Dead Sea Scrolls were such a big historical find, because you were finding things that were written in the 1st century AD that people haven't seen in millennia. Very interesting stuff. Pumapunku. There you go. Thank you, Jack D. Pumapunku. And Magnus. Yes, that is one of them. It's Pumapunku in, I think you said the other one, Adega. Pumapunku in Tijuana.
Tenochtitlan.
Yeah. Soul Assassin says, I remember hearing somewhere that the Egyptians, Mayans, and so on are all remnants of a long lost global civilization. I wouldn't doubt it. They all have close stories of their creation. They all have flood myths. You know, the Egyptians have a king's list that goes back thousands of years. You know, they believe that their culture is much older than what we believe. You know, we say 3,500 years old. They say they're, 300,000 years old. And it's we take it as, oh, they were just making it up. It's stories, but why do we have to believe it's stories? I think the biggest loss in human civilization was the Library of Alexandria, because I think we lost a lot of history there. And I think that there was something, maybe there was a reason why, Caesar burned it down. I don't know.
What? I don't know how to share screens. Do you know how to? Because I got some images. It has a little share screen on the bottom, but I always screw this up.
And then you go to share screen, right? And then you click on Chrome, your tab, usually the one farthest to the right.
Does it work with Firefox?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it say Chrome tab or Firefox on there?
Yeah, mine's. Let's see.
It's usually the far right tab. Click on that, and then it'll have the actual www dot, the address. So, and then you can just share it that way. And while you do that, the reason for this, morning live stream is the idea: did disclosure happen this year, and we just missed it because of all the crap going on? What do you guys think?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Abso-freaking-lutely. Anytime we get a little bit of an admission, like, all right, we all know that our government's lied to us. We all know it. Our government's lied to us.
Stop it.
The United States has been hiding a lot of things that they've been looking into for decades. And these things leak out, and they're called conspiracy theories, and then they get proven like 20, 30 years later, but we still got to worry about that conspiracy word. And as far as recovering any alien craft and so forth, like I think Bob Lazar is legit, in my opinion.
The guy is.
Yeah, he's legit, and I don't doubt that. I think that's Go Space Force. Go Space Force. I think that's just a precursor to reaching out, and I think Gaze. I think I was on a stream with Gaze not too long ago. We were touching on this a little bit. Maybe it was Final, but I was saying that I hope that we're like in the backyard of some galactic federation, and they're letting us grow at our own pace. But I think that there are governments out there that are aware, especially mine, the United States government, that.
Oh, of course,
knows it, and they've been trying to get prepared for it. But we're also dealing with really advanced technologies. But it also brings up the question that if my theory that these are future humans coming back and doing anthropology on us, look at the beginning of social medias and how they beat the shit out of each other with made up racism, this, right. That we're trying to reverse engineer future human technology. But in either case, then you step into the idea of, if you can alter the past, if you travel back into your own past, do you have the ability to alter it, and things like that. But that's going too far.
Kind of like they need to record the whales.
Yeah. Like that.
To save the future.
Yes. You know what? Don't diss Star Trek 4. I had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend once, and I was like, "Do you like Star Trek?" And she was like, "Well, I like the one with the whales." I was like, "Oh, God."
At least she liked it.
Oh God.
Right. Gaze, what do you think? Do you think disclosure happened?
Wait.
Of aliens.
Public disclosure?
Aliens, buddy. They said they were otherworld vehicles. The Pentagon said it.
Yeah, the Navy Pentagon came out and said otherworldly vehicles.
What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean it doesn't mean you found an abandoned car at Arby's.
No, that would be worldly.
Yeah, I saw that a few weeks back. No, yeah, there's definitely something behind that. I mean, why do you think is it a coincidence that all of a sudden we're talking about Space Force out of the clear blue sky?
Space
Where did that come from? Everybody forgot
Right.
about space since like the fucking Challenger. Nobody's giving a shit except Elon Musk. Now all of a sudden we have a Space Force. There's something going on.
That's man, good way of putting it. I love how in recent years they said they lost when they switched from paper files to computers. They lost the technology, like how to build the Saturn V rocket. They couldn't figure out how to get back to out of Earth's atmosphere to get to the moon. Like,
They're full of shit.
Come on now.
Yeah, that's pretty piled deep.
Yeah, I think what they wanted to do was just remove their actions from the public eye, more so than stop working on it altogether.
So do you believe there was a secret Space Force?
The Space Force might be pushing
Or
it.
space program. Space program.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
I think they got laxed until China started going and probing around the moon, because there's an international treaty that exists, that considers, any planet that we go to, any planetary body outside of Earth that we go to is like international waters.
Like Antarctica.
Right. When you build a structure, then you are in your country within the structure. But once you walk outside of the structure, you're international waters. China never signed that. And now that they're sending Jade Rabbit up there, and they've got some cool photos and stuff that they put out to the world, but they kept a lot to themselves. I think that America, for the longest time, was probably like, all right, we got up there first, and nobody else is going up there, so we're good. And now that there is actual competition, if China gets, I guarantee, if China, I don't guarantee it, but I would think if China got up to the moon, they would plant their flag and be like, "This is ours."
Yeah.
Right.
So what you're saying is not only did China usher in the pandemic, they were also bringing aliens to planet Earth.
I think they would, yes, and I think they would bang those aliens too.
Well, I mean, I would bang those aliens. That's that's not really an insult.
I want to be the first news.
And you wonder why the brew was invented. It's all about probing,
It's all about probing. It's all about, why do they always have to probe? That's my question. I think we just answered it.
You got hillbillies here that go out and cow tipping. That's just, good fun.
Right. It is an ass fetish. It is totally a fetish.
Okay. So I also, Adega, what do you believe? Do you believe disclosure did happen this year, 2020, but because of the shit show this world is right now, it kind of just went unnoticed?
No, I still think they're playing games. Like with the Space Force and everything, I think that's twofold. There was a lot of, and I won't get into deep state stuff, but because they're putting up new satellites and everything right now that aren't networked into the old system. They're putting in new systems that can't be infiltrated by big families and other systems. And most of the Space Force is ground-based, except for the X-35, but most of it is ground-based technological manipulation, instead of going out and shooting down targets and putting up big battleships. So that's my thing of why it is, because you had to set up a whole new network in order to prevent it from being infiltrated, whether it be Army, Navy, one country or another. So that's how I think about that. And I think the disclosure more often than not is bits and pieces that come out. When we get, say, like the X-35 and the X-22 came out, our fighter jets, and most people don't realize we already have the next generation, the sixth generation plane flying. It wasn't just hypothetical. They got it already up and flying. So they show us what they want us to see.
Right.
While they have the other things going on. And I think this little bit of disclosure is them showing us stuff that we already have. Whether it was completely made by us, whether some of it was salvaged material, that remains to be seen. But I don't think they've given us full disclosure yet. We don't have the right people in the system completely yet to be able to say, hey, you know what? You've been lied to for the past 100 years.
Right. I like what Brandy puts here. Just my own opinion, but to believe we are only life or even only intelligent life is ultimate in human arrogance. And I completely I agree.
Agreed.
I have not seen you on my streams either, Brandy. Thank you for stopping in, and please keep chatting. I've been reading this the whole time. This is the thing. I feel like there's certain sections of the government going against, let's just say, deeper sections of the government. And the Navy is one of those that tries to keep leaking out stuff. I mean, the Tic Tac footage, I don't know if we're that far advanced. The speed that this object moved, I don't think we have technology on this planet, unless it does come from an alien source, that we could replicate anything that does that. Now,
I'd put good money on it that we do. I'd put.
Oh, I doubt it, man. Not that fast. Not that fast. That is incredibly advanced. I do believe, though, like in the 60s, when people thought they were seeing UFOs, it was some of our newer fighter jets that came out, actually emitted to it in the 80s. So that's 20-year difference. But that Tic Tac object is hundreds of years. That's over.
Adega, why do you think?
Please tell us.
Technology.
Well, I don't know if you caught the stream that I was talking about a couple weeks ago on Fortean's show, because my dad, I'm older, I'm 52, but my parents adopted me when they were much older. And my dad was part of the Philadelphia experiment. And the things that he told me
hold up.
that
slow down.
We had the things that he told me that they had going on at the time shows that there was a ton of stuff that we had way back in the 40s that we kept under wraps, which you give it 50 years and the abilities that we have are just far beyond what they're letting us do. I mean, we're using gas engines and those have been outdated for over 100 years.
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right on that. But when it comes to the Tic Tac, I just feel like an object that can move that fast within an atmosphere, I don't think we're that far advanced. But I do believe
right now we have missiles that can go Mach 14.
Right, but the human body within inside of it, it's a different.
If you have a magnetic field around it, it would reverse
do you think
the
we're
gravity
doing that?
within inside, and you wouldn't have a problem at all.
An inertia dampener.
Do you think we're that far? Do you think we are?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, that comes down to gravity manipulation technology.
Mm-hmm. Where actually the propulsion isn't behind you; it's in front of you, right? Right. The propulsion isn't behind you; it's actually you're creating your
distortion in front of you.
Distortion in front of you. I believe that's possible. I just didn't think we were that far advanced. Wow, I like hearing this stuff.
Hold on, can I be selfish for 1 second after you do the super chat?
Yeah, I was about to do a super sticker from the Great Culture Casino, and it's the unicorn. Thank you, Culture. I knew you had a lot of stuff going on last night, and you still made it to the dump, and I appreciate it every time you're there, brother. Thank you. All right, what's up?
Adega, is there one cool thing you could tell us that your dad told you about?
Yeah.
Oh, I could tell you the whole thing. He only told one person, and that was me, because you know how the military is. And he said, if you ever and he passed away several years ago, and he said, if anyone brought it up, I'm just not going to talk about it. But he did share with me, because I worked with him for a few years, and we got pretty close. And I asked him a couple times about it, and he finally brought it up. He was on a ship that was basically a mobile dry dock where they would go out and repair ships out in the sea, and he was involved with that. He was there in the bikinis when they were nuking the German ships. But what he told me is a lot of what we hear about the Philadelphia experiment was embellishment. It didn't travel in time. It didn't jump from one place to another. People weren't stuck in the bulkheads. People did die. A lot of sailors did die on the ship, and it did disappear. And it did have something, what he best could describe was a Tesla tower on it, where it bent the light around it. And it worked. He said the ship was gone. It was beautiful, did everything, but when it came back, he said there was a lot of dead people. So he was told.
Cloaking, or did it move in time? You're saying
bending light is
no. There was no moving in time. It was
so it's cloaking.
Yeah. Okay. He didn't understand the engineering behind it. He was 16 years old. He lied about his age to get in the Navy early.
Right.
But that wasn't uncommon. And, he was a huge farm boy. He'd been swinging a hammer since he was 9 years old at a blacksmith shop. So he was big. And they said, yeah, come on in. So from his understanding of, without having the engineering, all he saw was it disappeared. It was no longer there and came back a few minutes later. And there was an emergency where there was a lot of men that they were pulling off the ship that had passed away. Damn. The ones that were in the center of the ship or closest to the working mechanisms were fine. Wow. And then they dismantled it. He said they took it apart, took it away, and said never talk about it, and we're not doing it again.
That's a lie.
Yes. In those type of societies, with those, if you had something that worked, you can cloak an entire ship. Why would you disregard it, especially when you had survivors? Why did they survive? Why did it work? How can we do this better the next time? Of course they did.
Exactly. They just took it deeper.
Right.
There
must have been like an area of influence that was protecting those people.
Right.
Closest to the mechanism.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, with electricity, they could have been safe with being ground. It could have been running through them and maybe long-term issues, but you could survive that. Being outside of that sphere, they could have been all electrocuted.
We were doing something kind of similar to that to avoid mines, but it didn't make the ship invisible. It was called gauzing, where they would hide the magnetic abilities of a ship from mines. Now, that was common, and they still do that today. But this was something completely different. And whether it was electric or magnetic or what have you, like I said, he just was, working with the cook and spinning ropes and watching nukes go,
That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. I don't want to change the subject, but I do want to answer this because I agree with K. John Boom. This is just my opinion, but humans are not Earth native. Humans have underdeveloped muscular systems, require clothing where other animals come prepared for cold. We also get electrocuted sunburn. The sun hurts our eyes. But if we were to transport us all and there was an atmosphere on Mars, we would set up perfectly with being a Martian. It's always like a twilight. Our time, I forget what the word is, but your body.
Are we talking like Mars a million years ago? Or are we talking Mars today?
There are theories where we came from, as we originated.
I believe
from
that
Mars.
Too.
I
believe they
taller.
seeded. Yep. I believe they seeded the Earth when they knew they were going to be the destruction of their planet. Think Superman. But when we get into space, what do you call that? Cadence? I don't know what the word is, but we go from a 24-hour day to a 23 point whatever, exactly lining up with a Martian day.
We do the same thing if you're underground. You go to 19 hours.
Wow.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, these deep miners, their circadian rhythm goes to 19 hours.
Circadian rhythm. Thank you. I couldn't remember the word.
Now, that was for the other conversation way back, but that image there comes from Central America. You could see it's a Caucasian. It was very, very old. They figured it was a full body at one time, but some of the guerrillas came by and said, "Oh, this is great target practice. It no longer exists because it was blown up."
God.
Yep.
That's awful. Oh, there's a couple more. Hold on.
That's crazy.
This was found in North America. That's all Hebrew, ancient.
Oh my God, that's ancient Hebrew, huh? What is it?
It's a backside of I can't remember exactly what they call it. It was kind of like one of those Madonna things. The people put in their yards where it has the little figurine in the center. Mm-hmm. It has the in the center. I'm trying to remember exactly what it has. I have the picture of it, but I can't remember offhand. It has to do with Jewish history. Mm-hmm. But that was here in North America. And most people thought it was a ruse, because all of the North American Native Americans, they did genetic testing and they come from Asia until they found a small group that have haplogroup X that matches. And we talked about this yesterday. Or was it? No, I can't remember when I talked about it. But
I think it was last week.
It matches the Jews.
Right. There's also another one. There's another one in Canada of Native Americans that match Eastern or Western Europeans, and it's kind of funny because people don't know where the Knights Templar, the Armada went. It disappeared overnight when they found out that on Friday the 13th they were going to be arrested. and it disappeared. Most likely went to Scotland and then came to Canada. But there is a Native American tribe that some of them have blue eyes, some have blondish hair, and their flag is the inverted, copy of what the Templars' flag was. So the cross is the opposite color than the background of the flag, but it's still like one's white and red cross, and the other one's a white cross with red background. It's unbelievable, but yet we still try to say that now they're starting to finally admit the Vikings were here because they can't not see the settlements we found. But I believe we've been here even before that.
Right,
and that's proof right there. What else do we got for pictures?
And how old was that? Is this piece you were saying, Adega?
If I remember right, and I'm halfway guessing, this one I think is about 1,800 years old.
Wow.
1,800. We got looks like one of the statues on Easter Island. That's the first thing I thought with that first picture.
Yeah, these stones, some of them are
they try
fake.
to talk. Yeah, there are some fakes, but you gotta admit.
Yeah, but there are thousands of these stones, and some of them, the patina matches 2,000 years ago or earlier, where they have the natives fighting with, riding, using, or being eaten by what we call dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yep.
It's insane, right?
Yep.
In Mexico,
you guys know about the footprints where they have people running right alongside, Triceratops footprints.
Oh yeah, and
No,
fossilized footprints. Fossilized footprints.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, dude. There's so much that they don't. Gotten out. Go ahead, Odega. Explain.
There was a big one in Arkansas. I'm pretty sure it was Arkansas. And like I said, my memory, since I'm sick, it doesn't work as well as it used to. But there's a big one in Arkansas where they found these, and they were saying, well, look, he's running next to. They figured it was a Triceratops. Could have been, anything. But there's human footprints running alongside this dinosaur because they dug it up, and then it went so far. And the scientist at the time, there was a guy in the local university, he was so pissed off that during the night he came with a big rod and smashed it up. And, trying to hide the evidence of some alternate history. Well, the thing is he thought he had won. The people that dug it up originally went to that cliff, removed it, and found out the footprints, both sets, continued on even further, so he couldn't hide it.
Swear to God, we find a mural of Jesus riding a velociraptor, I'm done. I'm done.
That would be amazing.
I'm converting like that day. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you got to bow down to that one, man. You got to bow down to that one. The idea that the Americas weren't populated with a legit civilization 10K years ago is just laughable to me. Humans were here. And of course, remember how far, or if you don't know, the ice sheets came down halfway down into, continental land, United States. Mm-hmm. So think about these ice sheets that would recede and then come back, recede, come back. If there was any structures there pre those ice sheets, which is 12,000 years ago, they would have been just turned to dust. So that's why you don't find anything over 10K. It's because northern, the north part of America, central to north, it would have been dust. It would have been, it created this, the Lake Superior, the Great Lakes. So what would it have done to a structure, made of, small stones? It would have pummeled them. But there's so much proof that, and Adega's showing it. There's proof that people were here pre coming over the land bridge. There had to be people here. But the last ice age killed most of the megafauna. So are we supposed to believe that they weren't here either? It's finding the proof now is the only way we can, change the history. I don't know. That's a really cool picture, though.
I've got several of those. You can find them anywhere. You just look them.
I missed a super chat.
Easy search, and there's tons of them.
I remember these.
I did miss a super chat. Hold on 1 second, buddy. I'm sorry. We got a $2 super chat from Fat Steven Seagal beats up J.J. Abrams up in Canada. Walton in voice says, breadsticks are for everyone. All right, Walton, do it. Say breadsticks are for everyone, Walton.
Breadsticks are for everyone.
Cut it. Lock it up, people.
I also heard in this. I remember hearing this conversation about these stones that in Mexico City to this day, you could still there's still figurines of dinosaurs that you can find, like ancient carved figurines. Am I remembering that correctly?
I'm sending you a couple more.
Okay.
Nice.
He's going to send me dinosaur figurines. I swear to God, if Jesus is riding one, I am converting. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
There's a robed white guy with long hair.
You have to.
Doing it.
Riding a dinosaur. And not just any dinosaur, like a raptor or a stegosaurus, because they just look cool.
What, you know,
we've never the Triceratops.
We've never seen Red Gaze. What if Red Gaze is Jesus?
What if?
Whoa. He didn't say he wasn't.
That's right. All right. Okay.
Speaking of melting ice, as Antarctic ice sheet melts, we are starting to get the real landmass of the continent there. I hope we find things under the ice there. And really quick, there's ancient maps. You know, there was a map made in the 1500s, but it's the guy, Perry Reese, who drew it, said he got the information from even older maps, shows Antarctica's coastline the way that we see it today with satellite imaging, like with the mountains and the streams. Yes. I do believe that Antarctica was a landmass a lot longer than they thought before it froze. I think things happen on the planet Earth way quicker than science is letting us know. It could happen, instantly.
Or can conceive of at this time. I mean, we're still understanding the planet itself. You know, we've only been able to dig 5 miles down. I think it was
7 miles.
7 miles down.
7 miles.
Right, and
7 miles. That's right. Those Russians.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, like that, and that's just digging 7 miles into the crust. Like, we really don't understand the core or what's going on. We have theories, but we don't understand. So and also you're talking about solar phenomena. Within our solar system, don't know exactly how things interact over long periods of time. We can guess, I mean, but you never know. So who knows? That's where I was going with that. Who really knows? Because we've only been documenting seriously in this iteration of humanity for 2,000, 3,000 years, maybe at the most.
Yeah, give or take 3,500.
Or at least that's what we're allowed to know about.
Well, right.
Exactly, and then, right. Well, and then you look at like what Another Monster said I think it was Another Monster. You have groups like ISIS blowing up ancient Sumerian
statues, man. God, what was that back in the 2000s when they did that? That was insane.
Oh, it's 3,500 years old, man, at least. Wow. And they're blowing up not just the statues, but the whole site. But this has been happening for hundreds of years. People destroy ancient sites to, demolish and look at Carthage. They salted the land and destroyed their civilization. The Romans.
You brought up the Library of Alexandria, yep. And the only reason that was burnt down was because the general basically said, I don't know the exact phrase, but he basically said, "There's anything in there about Muhammad, we already have it, and if it isn't about him, we don't need it. Burn it to the ground."
Well, there's also a theory that was alluded shortly beforehand by the ancient Catholics, and they wanted to hide the fact that they had gone through and pillaged the place for the most ancient and the most significant records. And the rest of it, they said, you know what? In order to cover up our theft, let's allow someone to burn it down.
That's great. I kind of hope that's true, because they still exist.
Well, that's what people believe is under the Vatican. When you send a request in to go into the catacombs of the Vatican and look at something, the way they get you is you have to know exactly the number that is, with that piece, where it's located exactly to get to go look at it. So most people would not know where the first Bible was written. You would have to have previous knowledge. Yeah. Exactly. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Well, we've been going for an hour. I think we're going to cut it here because I just wanted to do a quick one.
Wait.
Oh, no. You want to do more?
Get the picture of the Velociraptor eating a human.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Thanks,
I just
dude.
didn't want to hold anybody.
15 more minutes, bro. Please. I don't want to look.
Okay.
I like Adega's rocks.
I do too. It looks like that is one of Happy Dinosaur 8000's relatives.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I'm so sorry, Happy Dino.
Yeah, he looks like he's about to bite
Is he eating the human? Or
He's getting
the human.
stabbed.
To pleasure him.
Oh, well, the one behind the human, I think, is.
Okay.
That's where the reptilians come from, Stephen.
This is how we learned about the brew. Bend over, human. Will make you feel much better.
Nice.
Go to another one.
What else do we got here, Stephen?
We got more rocks. Oh, look at that, dude! Look at that.
Yeah. Now, people try to say that they're not authentic, but there's, like Adega said, there's thousands of them. There are thousands. There would have been the guy who created them. It would have took, what did they say, like decades for him to do it, and he just impossible for him to do. It would have took hundreds of people decades to make as many rocks as this guy found.
Plus, people understand the idea of a patina. If something's been exposed to the environment for so long, it's going to change the chemical makeup, the look, what's been exposed, what hasn't. And the ones that were fake were very easily determined. It was just a handful because the patina wasn't there. They were fresh cut.
Right.
Right. Well, now I have to check out Isaiah 55:6 and John 14:6. I'm going to check it out, man. Thank you.
I guess there's no way to date these. I would guess.
They have, but I don't remember offhand.
And I mean, okay.
The next one has some of the dates of the burial site from Peru. It has a little information on it.
All right, I'm getting it. Bam!
You get it.
I'm gonna blow it up.
Let's ride our Triceratops. I always wanted to do that.
Is that Jesus? No disrespect to.
There it is.
I believe. I just like to joke.
Sorry.
Wow.
That's
500 to 1500 AD. That's incredible.
I mean, okay, where are they? That would be my question then.
Well, there's evidence that there was a massive starvation because of I don't know if it was a plague or a drought or what have you, and that's one incredible food source. Plus, when they're gone, you can use the bones for all kinds of different materials.
Right.
Well, I love how scientists try to say the megafauna in Northern America, in the Americas, died off after the Ice Age, that it was mostly from, or even the mammoths, it was from human hunting. No way was there enough humans to hunt out the mammoths. There's in Siberia, there's thousands of them that froze with food in their mouth.
Yeah.
The other thing too is assuming that the dating is right, because all dating systems are based on certain atmospheric and pressure consistencies. Right. And as we know, the Earth's atmosphere, even the ionosphere, the magnetic sphere, they all change over time. So our dating system only goes back so far when it's accurate. After that, things change dramatically.
Soul Assassin is right. When we attacked Iraq, a lot of museum stuff from that country disappeared, and it was organized. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and Memes of Destruction says, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say it was the same thing in Egypt with that uprising.
Yeah.
Yes.
They destroyed a lot of artifacts over there.
And it makes you wonder why. Is it just, the mob mentality, or is it something more sinister?
Sometimes it's one or the other. Sometimes it's a little of both. Sometimes the more sinister prompts the mob mentality into action.
Yeah, we're seeing that right now.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Well, you're not.
Don't worry, Storyman Jack. You're never late. You're always on time. You're always. How does Gandalf say it? A wizard is never late or never early. No, go for it, man. You do it better. You're a witch.
I'm not.
Is he your grandfather?
Listen, I need to know if that's Jesus or not. I mean, look at.
I know you're talking about Jesus on a dinosaur. I can make fun of witches today.
No, yep.
He doesn't have a beard, so my guess is no.
Dude, if Jesus had a Triceratops, I'd be all in.
He's smoking a pipe, though. I know that he is smoking a pipe.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
Yeah, he's
having a good time.
Sunday ride.
Do we have any others there, Stephen?
Let me look. Scott,
I think there's one more that I put in there. Yep.
Cool. I just wanted, before we
was...
explain that one, hold on one second, Adega, before we thank you to everyone. We've held about 30 people this whole time. I really appreciate everybody doing it. If you could like, share, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, thank you very much. All right, go for it, my friend.
This stone was considered a fake for many years, except for the patina. And no one could make sense of it. They kept trying to read it until someone turned it upside down and said, oh, wait. This is cuneiform. I think it was either cuneiform or it doesn't look like Hebrew to me.
Like Sumerian?
Hebrew.
Like Sumerian?
Yeah, it was one of the ancient ones. It may have been Hebrew, but this doesn't look like a Hebrew that I recognize. But either way, it took a long time, and all they had to do was turn it upside down. Then they were able to read it.
Wow. Well, who knew? I'm going to try to do more earlier if I have the time in the next month or two because I'm working different schedule. Maybe I will try to do some very early ones. That is cool. Now, have you seen the pictures and like the idea of, and we're not going to get all into it, but I'm a huge Oak Island fan. Was that before the show came on? I always loved the history, the idea of Oak Island.
Yeah, the idea of it.
Treasure Island. Right. I would love to understand what that stone is, what the writing on that stone meant. But they can't find it. They can't find it. But we are finding more evidence of, like you're saying, Jewish, Roman, Egyptian, Viking that have been to the Americas. You know, it's arrogant to think that it took Christopher Columbus trying to find a route around the world, that no one else said, hey, let's just keep going, guys. Let's just keep going, you know? I don't know. All right, we're gonna end it there, boys. Thank you very much to everybody. Adega, thank you for coming. Red Gaze, why don't Adega tell them where they can find you, buddy?
My show was posted in the link. You just look up Adega Outlaw. There I put in my new book that I'm working on. It's not finished, but I put it there for editing purposes. I can hear it, and I put pictures to it, and people seem to like it. But you'll also get updates of the publishing company that recently hired me. So I've got next year there should be 2 books coming out. One that was out before. They're going to re-release it with some fan art that was given to me. And then, so one's sci-fi, one's fantasy. And on Saturdays, I hang out with Fordian. We do a very similar show to this, except we have a little bit more fun and don't talk about coffee enemas. And
I didn't do that. It wasn't me.
And then on Thursday nights, I am on Loki's Morning of Mischief. We talk usually about culture, ancient cultures. You know, we've got into the Vikings and Greeks and Romans and World War II stuff. But this month we're doing Halloween stuff, true stories, really bizarre and disgusting stories. And then starting tomorrow, and some of you guys may be interested, if you ever followed Joseph Mazzella, he was the one showrunner for Stargate Atlantis, Stargate Universe, and Dark Matter. He's actually joining us for rewatch of his show Dark Matter. So we're going to be doing that
cow.
Yeah. No, I am really, he's super, super cool guy. And I'm starting to get to know him, and it's cool. We're going to be on PJ's channel, Orville Nation, so that'll be on tomorrow night.
Nice.
And that's what I do. Write and hang out.
That's awesome. That is awesome, dude. Hey, have any of you guys ever checked out the YouTube channel Binge Think? Yeah. He's a smaller channel. He only has 90 subscribers, but every day he puts the news report from Britain. Like the newest one is September 30th, 1940, and it's the news report of what happened in Britain that day when the Germans were attacking them, if they got air raid bombed, you know, like just really cool stuff. And he only has, I wish, if you guys aren't up on Binge Think, please check him out. Let him know I sent you. Let's get him over to 100 subscribers. He only needs 10 more people. And the guy, every day he puts it out. And it's really awesome. I will share his link, actually, because I really want this guy to get some eyes on him. I check out his stuff almost every day, or I binge him.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Absolutely. And you think of the history that these poor British people went through, and he's going through it. Every day someone's getting blown up in their country, and you're just going, you know, we know nothing of that.
I think the same thing. So I'm going to put it right now. Binge think into there. And Adega, thank you so much for coming, man. We'll have to do this again very soon.
Oh, it was a blast.
Yeah, I wish I had more Sundays off, but it's life. But we'll try to figure something out. And then we got Soul, the Red Glaze. I almost said Soul Assassin because I just looked at his name, so I had to try to change that. God, that was horrible. That was horrible. But check out Soul Assassin too. The Red Gaze. What's up, my friend?
Yeah, do that. Not much. Red Gaze over on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter. Actually, if you're interested, I have a quick Sunsworn update.
Nice.
Please. Read my mind. I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, man. I'm in the process of getting the visual companion in for print right now. The novel itself is in the hands of a professional editor as we speak, so that should be coming back in the next few days, and that'll be getting ready for print as well. If you want to share the screen quick, I'll give you a sneak peek of what you might find in the visual companion. Now, this is just kind of a beta, so it's not completed yet. I'm still adding some pages, but this is just kind of a taste of what you'll find in there.
Nice.
I love that one with the sword. Holy crap.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is it's good stuff. I got some great art in
here.
Who's
doing the art?
Artists.
Who does the art?
On the right here, we have this is Narwhal's art. He did most of the original concepts. On the left is Lakeem Amir. Johnny Cage over here actually did this one, and more Narwhal. This was done by Zrust. I don't know if you know Zrust, but he's an up-and-comer. He's Australian. Excellent artist. Love that guy. Yeah, really cool dude. Great artist. This is Vinny's work over here, along with some more Narwhal. Carla's more toward the back, but I don't want to show you too much. Just giving you a taste.
That's awesome. I've got a question for you, if you don't mind, over your book. Now, this is a full-length novel. Is it a graphic novel, or is it just a full novel and you have the graphics on the side?
This is a prose novel. What I'm showing you now is the visual companion, which is optional. You can add it. You can buy that with the novel or not. It's completely up to you. But yeah, the novel itself is completely prose, all text. There might be an image or two in there, chapter breakups, that type of thing. But yeah,
looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's came out to be, well, as of now, as it went to the editor, it's about 106,000 words. So that's roughly, in the neighborhood of 350 pages. So we'll see how it breaks down after that.
Right.
But yeah, thank you everybody who backed this, checked it out. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Is it still open to back it?
Yeah, it'll be in demand. So probably around December or so, depending on, because I'm gonna overprint quite a bit. So if people want to keep ordering, I'll keep shipping it out as long as people want it.
I will be ordering it in the next couple weeks, man. Luckily, I'm doing a little extra work to do it, so I'll be getting it in the next few weeks, and I'll make sure everyone knows how amazing I am to buy it from you.
Yeah, you would be quite amazing. You already are quite amazing. That would just make you so much more amazing.
More amazing, right? I need that. Thank you, man. Definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I only need 3 more people to subscribe to Binge Think to get him to 100. He's at 97.
All right, send
me
a link.
97 people.
Send me a link.
I will. I can't because I'm using my phone to do it, and I can't because my computer sucks. I'll send it to you. I'll DM it to you.
I'll see if I can.
So 3 more people.
Oh wait,
I'll come up, guys.
Okay,
I'm pinning it. Oh no, pin user time and timeout. I'm not pinning myself or another monster. Damn it!
I'm already subscribed.
I know. I was going to say that. I think you already did, but I appreciate anybody who's doing it. I'm going to share it again.
Yeah, man.
So we got it. Here we go. Sharing it. Shared. 2 more. I think we need 2 more people.
Yeah, 2 more.
He's not even watching this, but he's no, we're at 97 still. All right. Keep going, guys. Hey, I want him to know this community backs free thinkers, people that don't have to be part of the community. I like sharing time with people that don't follow a hashtag also. It doesn't mean just because I do doesn't mean everybody I hang out with has to. So let's support one another. Yes, historian.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool people on the edges that just kind of hang out and don't really want to identify with one thing or another, and that's cool too, man. As long as you're cool and you're not a dick, that's down.
Exactly.
I'm down.
Like I want to stream with Vinny again. He was awesome, dude. I want to see if he can make me an avatar. I got to talk to him and see if he'll make me an avatar. We're tight like that now after one stream. All right. Thank you, Case. All right. Next up is the author, Stephen Walton.
I am a nerd, and I'm a geek.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Let's see. Phantom Menace Volume 2 is out on Indiegogo. Check that out if you would. They still have a few more Volume 1s I'm shipping out this week. The final group of them. So get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry. I hit the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Fucking asshole.
Sorry. My bad.
But check that out if you would. I'm currently restructuring my science fiction novels for release. I'm working on those. I'll probably do it next year. Can't wait to show you guys that. It's about 20 years of lore that I've been writing on, and I'm looking forward to presenting that at some point. So awesome. I've been shopping around for an artist to see if I can get the first book made into a series of comics. So we'll see what happens with that. Love you guys.
I could probably talk to my boy Vinny for you. My boy Vinny might be able to help you. I don't know.
Vinny's busy. I've already talked to Vinny. He's busy. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Hail to you. Have a good day. Be good to each other.
Seriously, guys, thank you for coming on. We got him to 101 at the moment, so thank you, guys.
Nice.
Vince Link is at 101. I hope he wakes up and sees that or looks at it at some point and goes, what the hell just happened? He's awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. And because I don't know if Culture Casino is still here, I'm going to play the right outro that I did at the beginning.
Wash your hands, wash your ass.
Be good to one another. Start sniffing glue.